A couple hiking in the mountains suddenly realized they were no longer on the trail. They checked their phones, but neither had a signal. When the guy pulled out a compass, the needle just spun. The sun was beginning to set, and they tried to remain calm, knowing they were ill-prepared to spend the night in the forest. They didn't even have a flashlight or matches. They decided to keep walking and try to pick up the trail once more. However, the world quickly turned dark and the couple didn't know what to do. Surprisingly, they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin. At least it would provide them with shelter for the night. They entered the cabin. The moon shone through the windows, revealing upturned furniture and layers of dust and neglect. Eventually, the couple settled in for the night and fell asleep. Around midnight, they woke from a loud noise coming from outside the cabin. Not knowing what or who was outside, they listened, but couldn't determine what the strange sounds were. Mustering his courage, the man called out to whoever was there, but there was no response. He then said, "If anyone is out there, clap one time for yes." They heard the distinct sound of a clap. The woman encouraged him to ask more questions. "Are you a man?" he asked. "Clap once for yes and twice for no." "Clap, clap," was the reply. "So you're a woman?" he said with relief, edging his voice. "Clap, clap." The man and woman gasped. "Are you a man or a woman?" Clap, clap. By now the couple were panicking. "Are you human?" the woman asked with her voice quivering. Clap, clap. She whimpered at the response. The couple backed into a corner, feeling the intense presence of evil. "Are you alone?" the man asked. Clap, clap. "How many are with you?" he asked, not wanting to know the answer. "Clap once for each of you," the woman said. The couple counted 50 claps. When the last clap echoed in the cabin, shadow figures darkened the windows, blotting out the moonlight. The woman screamed, and the door flew open. It was Christmas break, and a young woman was traveling home from college. It was late, and she just wanted to get home and be with her family. As she entered one particularly long, dark stretch of forest, a car that had been following her suddenly raced up close, and the driver flashed the car's headlights. She accelerated to pull away, but the car kept pace, and again the headlights flashed on high beam. She accelerated again, but the driver was now tailgating her and flashing the lights on and off high beam. She reached for her phone to call 911, but the familiar strobing of blue lights from an approaching police car made her sigh with relief. The police officer must have seen what was going on. She pulled over onto the shoulder of the road, as did the car behind her. She watched as the police car stopped immediately behind a car, and a police officer quickly exited, running towards her. Without a word, he threw open a car door and jerked her out of the car. Grabbing her by the arm, he handed her over to the man who had been following her. Confused, and before she could ask what was happening, the police officer ran back to a car with his gun drawn. He opened the back car door and shouted, "Get out of the car slowly with your hands in the air." The college student watched as a man holding a knife got out of the back seat of a car. Her knees buckled under her, but the man who'd been following her supported her. As they watched her unwanted passenger handcuffed, the man described how each time her unwanted passenger rose from the back seat with the knife poised to stab her, he flashed the headlight on high beam. Every time, the man retreated behind her. A couple left for a dinner party, leaving the babysitter to watch over their 2 children. It was the babysitter's first time working for the family, and she was surprised by the overwhelming clown motif throughout the house, including multiple statues in the living room. While the children were playing there, the babysitter became aware of one of the life-size clown statues placed in a rocking chair. It was extremely lifelike, and its gaze seemed focused on the children. She could have sworn she saw the eyes move each time the children moved in the room. Finally, the babysitter became concerned by its presence enough to call the parents. She spoke with the mum and asked if she could put it in another room while she was there. She explained how the clown was really creeping her out. Upon hearing the babysitter's description of the clown, the mother ordered the babysitter to grab the children, immediately leave the house, and head for the house next door. The babysitter grabbed each child by the hand and ran out the front door and to the neighbor's house. The neighbors, an elderly couple, ushered the three of them inside and locked the door. The elderly woman was on the phone with the mother, who reassured her that the police were on their way. Apparently, a mentally ill neighbor had been threatening to murder the family. He had dressed as a clown and was sitting in the living room, just waiting for the right moment. A young couple had a tradition of ordering Chinese food every Friday night from their favorite local restaurant. They would sit in their den watching a movie while they ate. On this particular Friday night, they ordered early. Their usual order always came with a large order of fried rice. The couple chowed down on the food while watching a movie on TV. Halfway through the movie, the wife started having excruciating stomach pains. The husband was soon also in agony. The wife was gagging and bleeding from her mouth. The husband managed to call 911, and by the time the two ambulances arrived, the couple were writhing on the floor of their living room. The EMTs collected samples of the Chinese food the couple had eaten earlier that night. Neither the husband nor the wife made it to the hospital. They both died of internal bleeding en route. An analysis of the Chinese food turned up tiny fragments of glass throughout the fried rice. A subsequent inspection of the Chinese restaurant revealed a disgruntled employee had broken a drinking glass and ground it up in the food processor. He then tossed the glass into a random batch of fried rice. The employee was arrested for the two deaths. A woman often awoke in the middle of the night and would hold her arm over the mattress so her dog, lying on the floor by her bed, could lick her hand. This small gesture by her companion was reassuring and helped her go back to sleep. One night, she was awakened several times by what sounded like a dripping faucet. Each time she awoke, she put her hand down for her dog to lick. She was too tired to go into the bathroom to turn off the faucet. Each time her dog licked her hand, she would fall back asleep. When she woke up the following morning, she went into the bathroom to find out what was causing the dripping. She screamed when she saw her dead dog hanging from the shower rod with blood dripping from its slashed neck into the drain. When she returned to her room, she discovered a note on the floor by her bed. Humans can lick too. You don't have to be driving down Archer Avenue in Chicago and passing Resurrection Cemetery to see the ghost known as Resurrection Mary. She's no longer geographically confined. This ghost walks up and down streets and past graveyards all over the United States in her prom dress, seeking a ride home. The Resurrection Mary legend originated in Chicago sometime in the 1930s. A number of motorists driving down Archer Avenue passed by Resurrection Cemetery and claimed a young woman jumped onto the running boards of their cars, only to vanish as abruptly as she had appeared. There is a good chance the legend arose from a real tale of a young woman from the 1930s who had been dancing with a boyfriend in a nearby Chicago ballroom. Unfortunately, he was being a bore, so the young woman decided she'd rather brave a walk home in the cold and dark than spend another minute with the boy. While walking along Chicago's Archer Avenue, she was struck by a vehicle and died instantly. According to the legend, she was buried in Resurrection Cemetery in a white dress and dancing shoes. Shortly after her death, reports of a ghostly appearance to passing motorists began to surface. Resurrection Mary sightings in Chicago continue to this day, leading some to believe that Mary is, indeed, a ghost that hangs out at the gates of Resurrection Cemetery.